Namaste to all our guests in India who's joining us today. Salam alaikum to all our guests here in the Middle East. Good afternoon to our guests there in Southeast Asia. A pleasant day, everyone, and welcome to our webinar entitled Choosing the Right High Security Glass Solution. Before we start, some few instructions to make sure that our webinar will go on smoothly. First, the recording of this presentation will be shared via email after the webinar. Please ensure that your mobile phone is switched off or at least on silent mode during the presentation. And of course, we encourage everyone to please participate by typing all your questions anytime that you would like to ask some questions. Just use on the Q&A button. So here are some few mechanics on how to use the Q&A. Of course, you can just see it on your upper right side corner of your screen, the Q&A button, and your question will be published by our moderators and answered all the end of the webinar by our experts. You can also we encourage you to like some questions that you think it's very useful for you, because the most liked questions will be asked to our experts first. So let us begin. Let's start with, of course, going through the agenda. Allow me to walk you through the agenda. We'll start with Vetrotech and simple introduction, a brief introduction about Vetrotech. Then immediately we'll jump into the main topic, which is the high security glass testing and standard, an overview of the high security glass, and then of course we'll wrap up with Q&A portion. So without further ado, allow me to introduce to you our company, Vetrotech.
At Vetrotech, we believe that life safety comes first, that in all living places, people should be granted safety. Infallible safety. One cannot compromise when it comes to protecting lives and property. One cannot be anything less than rigorous. Full compliance is a must. That's why we're committed to making living places more secure, committed to ensuring occupants the peace of mind they deserve without sacrificing comfort, because no one should have to make the choice between life safety and well-being. We are entrepreneurs who strive to bring safety to any building project, pioneers in passive fire protection and high security glazed solutions. Advocates for healthier, more sustainable construction for the well-being of each one of us and the future of all. Every day, we transform the near-infinite potential of glass into high-performing, multifunctional solutions. Solutions that demand no trade-off in function or aesthetic and discreetly blend into the surrounding architecture to provide occupants with imperceptible protection. That's why our customers can rely upon us. They trust us to act as partners in identifying and co-developing systems adapted to any application or risk scenario. We share this mission with them today and for the years to come. A mission we are proud of. We ensure that people and property are always protected from hazard, no matter what. Vetrotech, on the safe side.
Vetrotech is now on its 42nd year since we started in 1980. And in 1996, we have joined Saint-Gobain, founded in France, which is now a 350-year-old company. Since then, as a business unit, not only that we are continuously developing and innovating the fire-rated glazing glass or the glass system of Vetrotech, we are also manufacturing and continuously providing multifunctional high-security glass solution, which is now what we are going to discuss for today, mainly on fire and bullet resistance, blast resistance, and anti-attack. Now operating to 70 countries with dedicated employees to support each and specific markets, and the manufacturing facility in 7 main production sites is strategically placed on 3 continents. And these are of course, in North America, We have in Europe, and of course we have in Asia, specifically in India. In India, because this is the biggest factory ever built by Saint-Gobain till date, with over 1 billion euro investment. This factory, we have asked 3 main auditing companies or 3 well-known certification bodies such as Underwriters Laboratory for the UL marking. We have Taub Ryland for the CE marking, and even Exova Warrington for the certifier to ensure that we provide all the requirements needed to cater the Middle East market, India, and Asia. Because for Vetrotech, we never compromise on safety and always make sure that you are always on the safe side. Now, going to our main topic, allow me to introduce to you one of our experts on safety glass solution. We have Fabrice. Over to you, Fabrice.
Thank you, Ron. Hi, everyone. My name is Fabrice Soudry. I will be your host today. We are live from Paris, and I'm very pleased to share this moment with you. Allow me a quick word on myself. So I'm 48 years old, happily married with a proud father of 2 beautiful children. I started my career before Vetrotech. I worked for around 15 years in the lighting industry as a project manager. So in this first lives, I used to work on many projects, indoor, outdoor, roads, airports, and most of all, what I preferred was the monument lightings. And at this occasion, I met people from Saint-Gobain. I discovered the material of the glass material and the transparency and the infinite possibilities that we could get. And I had the chance to join Saint-Gobain in 2012. And since 2013, I joined Vetrotech to develop this new business for them. As you know, Vetrotech was born in the fire business, but with our knowledge and our DNA of systems expertise, the company of Saint-Gobain asked us to be the business unit in charge of these high security solutions. So the idea today is to have an overview of this kind of solutions. Let's get started. I would like to start with the high security glass testing standards. As you all know or figure, glass, it's a beautiful material, but through transparency, it's also fragile and it can break easily. So all the idea of this test are to define glass composition to withstand some different types of attacks. So let's start with the first one. The European norm EN 356 defines the test to get the glass composition to withstand different type of attacks. So you have 2 parts in this norm, part A, part B. Part A is mainly for anti-vandalism. What it means that it's a non-premeditated action on the glass. You can use your body, your fist, your feet. You grab something on the floor, you throw it on the glass. So the idea is to have a glass composition that resists a certain type of energy. And so the test, it's called the ball drop test. It's a steel ball of 4.1 kilograms dropped at different heights. And the purpose of the test is for the glass to withstand 3 balls dropping, and that at the end of the test, the 3rd ball doesn't penetrate through the glass. So you have 5 classifications from P1A to P5A, measuring the energy. So this is mainly anti-vandalism, and I show you. So the idea is to determine a certain glass composition. What I didn't mention is that in all this glass we will see composition, it's mainly about lamination, laminated glass. So we put standard glass together and we make them as a sandwich, and this is our own technology that brings the purpose. So let's move on the part B of the norm. In this case, it's a premeditated action. Someone takes some tools and wants to break through or escape through the glass. So it's really an attack on the glass. The test is called axe test. The purpose is to realize an opening. It's a square of 400 millimeters by 400 millimeters. And the test, there is no time. It's only counting of the hits that the glass can withstand. So in this category, we have three classifications. First one is P6B. If the glass resists the accumulation of 31 hits of hammer and axe without realizing the opening, glass is classified P6B. Over 51 hits, it's P7B, and over 71 hits, that's the last, the highest classification, the glass is considered P8B. I will quickly show you an example. One of our colleagues doing manually the test. So you see, if it would have been a standard glass, it would have broken already. But here we can see that it withstands number of hits. Okay. What we have seen before was what we call level 3 solution. It means that any glass producer that conforms to some standards are able to deliver this kind of solution on the market. The two next norms we will see, so for bulletproof and for blast resistance, these solutions are what we call level 1, and as fire, they are life-saving solutions. So that's why Vetrotech, as a level 1 company, has the compliance and the authorization to put on the market these solutions. It means that only level 1 companies are authorized to deliver this solution on the market. So let's see what's the EN 1063 norm about. So it's the ammunition test. Purpose of this norm is to determine the glass composition that will resist a certain type of attacks. These standards classify 7 classification, BR, BR1 to BR7. BR means bullet resistance. So you have 7 classification. From BR1 to BR4, that's what we call handguns, so ammunition for handguns. And over that, up to BR7, it's what we call rifles. For example, BR4 stands for Magnum 44. So if it's a handgun, the norm defines the distance of the shooting at 5 meters from the glass. If it's a rifle, at 10 meters. The idea is the same. We don't shoot anywhere on the glass. It's a triangle of 120 by 120 millimeters, and we shoot 3 times on each glass. Purpose of the test is that you need to validate 3 samples with 3 shoots to validate the glass composition. Moreover, you have what we call the SG classification, SG1, SG2, which stands for shotgun. SG1, you shoot only 1 time on 3 samples. SG2, like BR, you shoot 3 times on the glass for 3 samples at 10 meters. Once the glass is validated, it means you have no perforation. You can have 2 kinds of performance. you can have NS application or S application. Both cases, the bullet is stopped, but in one case with the S application splintering, you have splinters on the back of the glass. For the NS application, non-splitter, you never have splinters on the back. So this is for the I will show you a video. What's interesting is that we have our own lab, shooting lab, so we can make pre-tests before we go to validate to official laboratory. So as you see on the video, you really have to shoot on a triangle. You don't shoot at random. Okay, you see the result, and at the end, you determine the glass composition. Last norm is the blast resistant test, what we call the shock tube test. The idea is to the norm defines 4 classification, ER1 to ER4. ER means explosion resistance. So as we said, we are talking about glass. So if you put the explosive right on the glass, it would break. The idea of the norm is that the glass needs to withstand overpressure. So the idea is that you have your facade, the risk at some distance of the facade, you calculate the pressure on the glass, and you determine the glass composition to withstand this. We said that above ER4, the full structure would be destroyed. So it's not really important to know in this case if the glass would resist or not. With the courtesy of the lab, we have a video showing you the shock tube principle. So as we said, the idea is a long tube where on one side you have the glass and on the other side you create you recreate the explosion and the shock wave that will go through the glass. So this test is really to test glass only composition, and it's valid. The composition we define with this test is valid for 1 square meter. Over 1 square meter, we need to do some new tests in the system and or new calculation. Same principle that for bullet, you have 2 types of performance, S or NS. In case of NS, it means that the glass don't break at all. Otherwise, you have splintering. Okay. So that was for the glass norm, but glass is only a part of the full system. And at Vetrotech, we have the DNA of systems that was really from the start with the fire, in the fire culture. You don't speak only about glass, you speak always about the full system. Here is the same. So our glass respond to specific norms, but then the full system has other norms it needs to withstand too. Our glass can be put in steel profiles, aluminum or timber. But what's important is that the system and the full system should be tested. Two examples. If the attack glass withstand an attack, but it's not fixed well in the frame, if you kick it, it would fall down and you have no performance. Another example, if you shoot on the full system, the glass would be tested, so it would be okay. But if you put it in the a standard aluminum or timber or steel profile without bullet performance, bullet would go through the frame and the risk of damage is high. So it's really important to think of a full system. We do work with the main glass frame supplier in the world, but if you have specific project you want to develop, we are here to help you. The first question to see if you follow us: with what glass standard test is attack resistant glass tested? A, the stone throw test. B, the axe test. C, the shock tube test. I'll let you a few seconds to answer. And as we have seen, the right answer is the axe test. So now we have seen the testing method. Let's have an overview of high security glass. As you have seen, there are different classifications, and the idea of this is to choose the right security glass for your project. So, what does your high security glass need to withstand? That's the first question you need to ask. So we have seen we have attack resistant glass, vandalism or burglary. You have bullet resistant glass, and you have blast resistant glass. As you've seen, we rely on the standards and the norms. So things really important is that, for example, an attack resistant glass is not a bullet resistant glass. But on the other hand, often a bullet resistant glass has attack virtue. Same for blast. Blast, as we have seen, is for the overpressure, is not a bullet resistant glass, but it could be attack resistant glass. So we are here to help you to find the right solutions. What properties does your glass need? As we have seen, we process glass from the raw material, assembled together. We deliver what we call laminated glass. So Vetrotech solution are glass and what we call the film, polyvinyl butyral film. There's a special plastic film that stick the glass together, and in the Vetrotech solution we can answer all kind of classification, all kind of performances. This is the standard way that we do with glass forever. What differentiates different companies is the know-how and the optimization of the glass composition. As I said, Vetrotech didn't invent the bullet resistant glass, but we really have a know-how of Saint-Gobain experience, and we optimized in the last few years the glass compositions. On the side of that, we have what we call composite material. It means that we integrate polycarbonate in the glass composition to upgrade the performances. So if you put the polycarbonate inside the laminated glass, or inside the sandwich of glass, you give proper higher resistance characteristics. And you can, in this case, for example, answer to anti-panic solution, or really adapt the risk for jewelry or high-end window shops, because if even for the standard solution, if you hit on the glass on the same target, you can get through the glass quite easily. So even for high security, this one brings better solutions. And we also have, for a special application, the fact that you use polycarbonate in the bullet resistance the polycarbonate plate will be on the protected side. So you combine the glass and the polycarbonate, the glass will reduce the energy and it will be absorbed by polycarbonate. The idea in this case is to never have splinters. So if you have a request for S splinters application, you don't use PolyGuard bullet resistance solution. This is only for NS. The idea of this is to reduce the thickness and the weight. So for doors and windows, it's really interesting. For all these kind of application, please consult your Vetrotech specialist. We can have a fire combination too. So you have to check with your local contacts. One thing important is that polycard makeups are more sensitive to temperature and abrasion. So please take extra care and inform about the solutions. Let's have another question. How many classifications do we divide height security glazing? A6, B4, C3. I'll let you a few seconds to answer. And the right answer is 3 type of classifications. What is the intended application of your high security glass? This is the first things what we saw that you need to think of. Our mission as Vetrotech is to bring you to deliver the performance you need. So either for fire or for protect or combined solutions. So we have to answer your basic needs. But then the advantage of the glass is that with the Saint-Gobain R&D and the possibility of glass, we can combine all kind of solutions, what we call multifunctional solutions. For example, we can improve acoustic, insulation, we can bring colors, Ceralite, picture integration, whatever your imagination, and it allows us to give you a customized solution. So this is really important. Our first mission, protection, but on the next slide, we can deliver whatever you're looking for. So different application possibilities. The standard one are facade, doors, windows, but it can be whatever you need. It can be floors, skylights, name it. What's interesting is that now with the new glass composition, we can integrate with the new frames, really integrate security into architectural solutions without a bunker effect. So that's really interesting. Question 3. Can a bullet-resistant glass be installed in a door frame? Yes, in every door frame. B, yes, but only if it was fully tested together with the door frame. Or no, because it's not a fixed system. Okay. The right answer is B. As we said, if the frame is not bulletproof, you shoot through the frame, you get penetration. C was tricky because, of course, even if the door is bulletproof, but if you open it, there is no more bulletproof performances. Okay, that was all for me. I believe there is a Q&A session. Thank you.
Thank you, Fabrice. Hi, everyone. My name is Saskia Goldhahn. I work for the marketing team for Vetrotech, and I will be guiding this Q&A session. So we've received quite a lot of questions for you, Ronald and Fabrice, today. Let me ask the first question to Ronald. So a question we have is, are glazing solutions from all high security classifications available in the IMEA region?
Thank you, Saskia, for the question, and whoever asked the question, thank you very much for your interesting question. Yes, it is available here in UAE. We normally provide the entire requirements or solution to the architects. If you have some any requirements, just send us the drawing. We'll provide you the full solution by coordinating to the right system partners where we have tested our glass. So far, we've been receiving a lot of inquiries, all from blast resistance, bullet resistance, and anti-attack in this market. So yes, it is available here to answer the question. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, then we have a question that might be more suited for Fabrice. The question is, can we make polycarbonate in combination with a fire-resistant glass?
So polycarbonate is a combustive material, so it can be in some application. You need to consult your local representative, but sometimes yes, not all the times.
Okay, then we have two questions regarding the glass standard testing. The first one is in regards to the drop ball test. The question is, hi, for the steel ball test, considering the height and speed factors, how much weight would the 4 kilogram ball resemble in real life?
Sorry, I don't get
So I think what the question wants to ask is, we test with the drop ball test, we use a 4 kilogram steel ball. So
Yes.
I think the person wants to know if you compare it to normal force, could you compare it to something that you might encounter in everyday life? Because usually we don't have silver balls dropping out of the sky.
No, really, but the standard is to determine the glass composition. So it's as I said, it's a non-premeditated action. So it can be, you can jump on the glass or hit it. So it's not comparable with the real life action, but it's the way to define the glass composition. So it's only about energy on the glass to resist the impact.
All right. Then I have another question for you, Fabrice, regarding the bullet resistant test. Someone is asking, why is it only limited for a triangle area? So why do we only test it in a triangle and not in a square or any other form?
That's a good question. That's the norm that defines that. The idea is like when you have multiple shots on the glass, the idea is to concentrate the shots, because when after the first shot you have less material, so the glass it's more it's already fragilized, and the idea is that if you shoot on the same part of the glass, to see how it resists multi impacts, because if you shoot on the corners, you will have the full glass that resists. So the idea is to really see after a few impacts how the glass reacts.
Mm-hmm. And then in regards to testing, we have another question regarding blast resistant tests. So how do you test blast resistant glass within a system? Because you said that it's very important to test the glass within a system. So how do you do that for a blast resistant glass?
That's the same. That's the tricky part, because as we said, if we talk about only glass, it makes no sense. And the classification we have, the composition we have today is based on the 1 square meter, the samples that have been tested. But in our architectural project today, we are more, we have bigger paints. And the fact is that if your glass, beside that, if your glass resists, but it's not well installed in the frame, the risk is that the glass pops up the frame. So it's really important to imagine a full system, because you want full performance. So glass, it's only part of the full system.
Mm-hmm. And someone wants to know, Fabrice, how do I know what bullet resistant glass my glass needs to be? So we have all the ranges from BR3 to BR7. So how do you know which classification do you need?
The same here. It depends on the area you are on and the risk you're facing. There is no norm saying that in this case, like unlike fire, that it's more you have construction code or information. Here, it's the final client that decide what he wants to get protected. It's a budget issue and a possibility. BR7, of course, people would say I would put BR7 everywhere. It's for the, I didn't mention that, but the fact is that BR7, it's a military grade, it's a hardcore bullet, so it's less easy to find that the other ammunitions. So it's really a question of budget and risk.
All right, and then we have the last question for this Q&A for Fabrice. Someone says, I heard that high security glass has a greenish stain. Is there a way to have a highly transparent glass?
So as we said, we use standard float glass, annealed glass, mainly combined together to give the glass compositions. And in fact, yes, on the highest classification, you have some glass thickness. Some glass can go up to 8 centimeters, so it's quite thick and heavy. And to avoid these greenish effects, it's possible to use low iron glass, what we call diamond glass. It's an extra clear. And the fact that you put them all together, you don't have these greenish effects anymore. So for a luxury project, museum, or when in case you need to have the right light rendering through the glass, in this case, it's better to use diamond glass. Yes, it's a possibility.
All right, we've just shortly received a last question. Can polycarbonate be used only inside a sandwich, or can you use it outside as the last layer as well?
So as we said, if it's inside, it's mainly for attack reasons. We use it outside, of course, for bulletproof resistance. But in this case, it's only for NS application. So in this case, the polycarbonate is on the protected side, and so you have to have extra care because it's a sensitive material. So you can have abrasion and so on. So there are rules to respect for the cleaning, for the transport, for the installation. It's a sensitive product, but when all the conditions are respected, it's a fantastic solution.
All right. And with that, we conclude the Q&A. So I give the word back over to you, Fabrice.
Okay, thank you. So I've been asked to invite you to our next webinar. It will take place April 21st, 2022, and you will have the chance to discover the world of fire-resistant glass, all the danger of fire, the heat, the smoke, different glass classification, and a lot of interesting news about the fire-resistant glass world. And once again, I want to thank you for this moment. I really enjoy, sorry for my French accent. Please, if you want to learn more about our solution, you can go on our website, vetrotech.com. And I invite you to follow us on LinkedIn at Vetrotech Saint-Gobain. Thank you, Ron. Thank you, Saskia. Thank you, everyone, for attending this day, and hope you learned some precious information. Thank you again. Bye-bye.